think so. And we started when my daughter was, I think, 8, and my son was 4.5 or 5. So he wasn't swimming. He was my drowner. So I had to make sure that I had my eyes on him.
Controlled drown.
Yes, I had to make sure he was under control. So she did her thing.
Yeah. He was my drowner.
Yeah, he was my drowner. So I had to make sure that he was, supervised, for swim meets,
Mm-hmm.
essentially.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. We stayed in the program all the way up through COVID. And
everybody, good morning. This is I'm Chris with Cherokee Auto, and I'm here with Shannon Ritter with United Real Estate here in Knoxville. Hey, Shannon.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So Shannon's in the real estate industry here. Her office is located at 308 North Peters Road, Suite 225, and it's actually in the United Real Estate office here. Really cool little glass green wall here. What color green would you say this is?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
There's so
like a
many.
lime maybe?
I wouldn't go quite lime, but it's a great color for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh.
So
hey, you're wearing green.
I'm wearing my green.
I am not.
No.
I walked into the office this morning and our manager, Chuck, was wearing green, and I was like, I need to put green on.
Yeah.
Today is St. Patrick's Day. Have you ever seen the river in Chicago that they color green?
Only pictures.
Okay.
I've never actually been there for that.
I saw a Facebook post yesterday where they had the actual additive that they add to the water, and it was orange. It was like a Tennessee orange almost.
Ew, weird.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I didn't do
Funny
a lot
how
of-
chemistry works.
I know, exactly. Yeah, exactly. My brain just went off on a tangent because I have a degree in chemistry, and so I'm trying to remember exactly what that is, but I cannot. So,
Funny.
and I don't think that I've ever learned, But yeah, but it's funny how colors work as well. How you mix like red and blue to get purple or something like that.
Yeah.
So Shannon's a realtor here in town, and her business number, you can call or text it, is 865-591-9175. And you pretty much said you're available.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Every day during normal business hours, and then in the evening. So like from 9 to 9, pretty much any day of the week.
And if she's not available, she'll get back with you
Absolutely.
in a timely manner. So
Absolutely will.
you can find Shannon on Facebook and Instagram at Shannon Ritter Realtor. It's Ritter. And she's got a really cool Facebook and a really cool Instagram. So
Check it
that would
out.
be the easiest way to get a hold of her.
Yeah.
So so you call yourself, when I was looking at your Facebook, you call yourself the Relatable Realtor. So talk about that a
Yeah.
little.
So when I started selling real estate, I kind of needed to come up with like something that would set me apart.
Right.
There are so many agents in Knoxville, and I was just trying to think about who I am and who I have been and all the things that I've experienced in my life. And a lot of what I have been through, a lot of other people have as well. So it gives me a place to meet someone where they are. Are they looking to downsize? Well, I've got empty nester syndrome coming. If they've got small children, I've had kids. If they, just whatever their life situation is, I can find a way to relate to them so that I can help them get what they want and do what they're, do their searches and find what they're looking for, kind of thing.
Right, exactly. Yeah, sometimes people are wanting to go from a larger house to a smaller house. They're wanting to go from a smaller house to a larger house. They're wanting to go from a 2-story house to a 1-story house.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, so it's important to listen to what people are wanting. I was on the way here. I was listening to a podcast talking about listening to people, and it was a car podcast about some wholesaler who's been wholesaling for 55 years, and he said answer this question. He was interviewing another guy, old timer in the car business. He said answer this question. He says a customer comes in, they say I have 10 minutes with you because my son has a baseball game. What do you say next?
I would ask questions like real quick, like what are you looking for? What are your needs? What are your family's needs? Do you have an idea of what you're looking for? Do you happen to have a budget? And would expand on those. Do you have kids? Are you adopting? Are you fostering? Are you downsizing? Do you need single-story living? Are you looking for a basement that you want to have a workshop in?
Right.
Or a game room? Just ask questions about themselves.
Right.
And find out who they are, what's important to them. You know, do they have pets? You know, so maybe they need a yard. You know, do they want low maintenance? Well, we can look at condos. You know, so it's
smart. Yeah,
it's finding out more about them and building that relationship, and not just checking off. Okay, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This is their budget. Okay, let's go. You know, I want to know more about them so I can help them.
Right. That's good. Wow. That's some good information. I didn't think about half of that stuff. So
I mean, you know, it's kind of, it's the life of the business.
Gotta
You
think
know,
on
you're
your
helping
feet.
people. You got to think on your feet,
Right.
and you know how to work with them.
So you mentioned that some of the stuff that you've done in real estate, you specialize in first-time home buying. So what does that look like for somebody who has no idea how the mortgage industry works?
There's so much. There's so much. So there's a little bit of hand-holding. There's a lot of explaining. There's a lot of examples. There's a lot of you know, well, let's talk about this and let's talk about that. But it also works for people who haven't sold a house in 20 years or haven't bought a house in 20 or 30 years, because the industry has changed so much. There's kind of the same overlap.
Right.
With working with first-time home buyers versus, you know, an older couple that is just now selling their house because they're downsizing and they've raised a family and all that. So that's kind of what it is. A lot of hand-holding, a lot of giving of information, being the source of the source. So if they have questions about a mortgage loan, then here's some lenders to talk to. What about home inspection? So I explain what that is, and it's like, well, here's some home inspectors you can talk to.
Right.
I don't usually give just one name. You know, obviously it's up to the person, the buyer, the client to go out and find their own.
Right. Due diligence.
Due diligence, absolutely, 100%. And, you know, but sometimes it's nice to be able to say, well, here's a direction, you know, here's a couple of people you can look at. But also,
here's somebody I've used before and had really good results out of them, and they're quick. You know, I've noticed that just having a good level of customer service these days can separate you from your competitor.
Oh, absolutely.
Just responding to a phone call in a timely manner.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've got decades with all of my different jobs, which again is how I'm a relatable realtor. A common thread through all of them is customer service. So I have decades of customer service experience, and I definitely know how to do that.
And you mentioned you work with relocators. What does that look like?
So those are usually leads that come in online, people that are searching the Knoxville area. They kind of want to move to East Tennessee. And we relocated to Tennessee back in 2006. So I kind of know what it feels like. And so I like to be able to say, well, here was my experience. Here's how I can help you. Give them information about the area, give them things that they're looking for. You know, we want to be close to the lake. Okay, great. We have 5 lakes in the area.
Right.
You know, that kind of thing. And again, it's some hand holding because the market's different. The East Tennessee is different from wherever they're coming from. They're not all coming from California. Some are coming from the north. Some are coming from Florida. Some they're coming from all over.
Where are the 3 main places they're coming from? California is one of them.
I would say California. I would say I've had a lot of clients coming from Illinois and Michigan.
Oh, okay.
They want to get out of the cold.
I gotcha.
And they don't want to go all the way to Florida. And then I've had some people wanting to come up from Florida because they're tired of the hurricanes.
Hot.
It's hot. You know,
yeah.
they want to get So, in my personal experience, that's kind of the 3 regions where people are coming from.
I was born in Michigan, and I remember as a little boy, walking out in the front yard and looking up at the roof, and the snow. You could see the grass.
Right.
And the snow met the roof. It was like
that's crazy.
In my eyeballs right now, I can see that, you know, and it's just like,
I just can't fathom that.
Not interested.
I can't fathom that. I've never lived that far north, so I would have no idea.
It was crazy. And I remember as a young child walking and breaking the crust and going all the way down. My entire leg would disappear. Then you try to walk again. It's just exhausting to try to walk through snow. Of course, they don't get snow like that anymore too much, but yeah, that's. Don't recommend it. Yeah, I don't like snow. I like the beach. You were kind of talking about where you grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and close to the beach, and man, that makes me happy to even think about living that close to the beach. So.
I loved it. I loved it. It was, so Wilmington, North Carolina is where I grew up. Well, I spent my early teen years into adulthood.
Yeah.
And it's just so, the weather is mild most of the time. Although I do remember when I was a senior in high school, we got about 8 to 10 inches of snow, maybe 12 and some drifts, which was so weird to have on the beach. And then if you go to the beach, because of the way the snow was, you could see the layers of sand, snow, snow, like if you, you know how you step in the beach. Yeah. So that was pretty cool to be on the beach watching it snow.
Didn't last very long, probably.
No, it didn't last very long. And people do not know how to drive when that snow happens. That is like, you stay home and walk everywhere.
Yeah, I'm probably a little cocky when it comes to driving in the snow because I did move back to Michigan after high school and went to college for a semester. But I don't have a problem driving in it. Just need to drive slow. So.
Yeah, slow and steady.
You mentioned one of your kids made snow angels in the beach.
Yeah, so we took a family vacation to Topsail Island, and he was 3, and I think it was the first time we had actually been to the beach where he could play in the sand. And I just remember looking at him, and he was just so enthralled with the soft sand. He's over there making snow angels in the sand. It was cute, and then he gets up and he looks at it, and then he goes and makes another one. I mean, it was adorable. He was having a great time.
You know, that's one of the most fun things I've done in my life, and you probably can relate to this, living so close to the beach. But yeah, just anything, just wasting time sitting there with a bucket and a shovel. Just hours, just sitting there,
or even just sitting there and watching the ocean. You don't even have to do anything. You just have to sit there and watch. And it's so peaceful and calming. I love it.
And the smell of the salt water, and
There's
just love the
nothing
beach.
like it. Nothing
There was
like
a movie I saw one time about the North Carolina beaches called Message in a Bottle with Kevin Costner, Robin
really?
Penn-Wright. Yeah. And they lived on it's probably like the Outer Banks area, and Kevin Costner's character played a shipbuilder, or he would rehab ships, like wooden sailboats. And then she was a reporter who had found a message. Somebody had put a message in a bottle, and she found it in New York, and then came down and did a story on it.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
and then they ended up liking each other, and it's like a rom-com. Not really a comedy, but like a dramatic, romantic movie. And she's still one of my favorite actresses.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah,
I love her.
yeah.
No, they do a lot of film and TV in Wilmington on the coast. Like the TV series, The Outer Banks, was filmed on the coast.
Oh.
And so sometimes I would watch it and see, do I recognize this place?
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite movies is Empire Records from the 90s, and they filmed that in downtown Wilmington.
Oh, cool.
And I remember being home. It was during college, so I wasn't like home all the time, but I remember being home while they were filming it and looking at, that was the storefront and
Recognize parts of it.
Recognize parts of it. And so when I'm watching the movie, I'm even, picking out things that I recognize from being downtown Wilmington.
You mentioned something about an 18-wheeler being dropped off a bridge. What was that about?
Yeah, so the movie, I'm almost positive it was Maximum Overdrive. It came out in the 90s, I think, but they filmed that in Wilmington. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger was, if he wasn't in that movie, he was in a different movie, and my mom ran into him at one of the hotels. Dream a Little Dream was filmed down there, and but yeah, I remember trying to be on set for the tractor trailer drop, and I remember hearing like on a radio, the countdown 3, 2, 1. I couldn't see it.
Oh, okay.
We couldn't see it from where we were, but yeah, they did that on one of the bridges going into Wilmington.
Wow, that's a pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Movie set.
Yeah, they had a big production. Dino De Laurentiis's movie studio was there for a while.
That's
it might
neat.
even still be there, I'm not sure. But that was back in the 80s and 90s. 80s and 90s.
Yeah, we visited Holden Beach a couple of years ago, and we went to Wilmington one day, and it was nice. Got ice cream downtown. The road kind of ends at the ocean.
Yep.
And then it's just like, it's like, wow. It's a nice little pier area there.
Yeah.
I want to say we rode a horse and carriage down there.
They do that down there, yeah. I'm sure they do.
Yeah, and the guy was really talkative and about the area and about his history there.
Yeah,
And
the riverfront area has grown a lot since
Yeah.
I was there, for sure.
that's a beautiful area. I don't know what the population is in Wilmington, but
I have no
but
idea
it's a
what
nice
it is now.
population.
Yeah,
it wasn't
it's a good
little
sized city.
Yeah, it wasn't
It's
a little
good sized
city for sure. So yeah, so you mentioned that your husband's a veteran, and you're gonna tell us about the day that you met him, the first time you saw him, and
So it was kind of funny. I was looking for a place to live. I was looking for an apartment. I was living in a house with like 4 or 5 other people, and I wanted to have a place for myself. So I was working at a restaurant, and a friend of mine, Kelly, said, well, a friend of hers was moving out of his 1-bedroom apartment of the duplex and moving into the back half. And he's like, go, he'll show you the place. And I was like, okay, great. And so I met him. His name was Fred. And I was like, oh, thanks. I'm just here to look at the apartment or whatever. So he moved around back with his roommate. And I ended up moving into the front part of the house. And he and his roommate lived in the back part. It was a small house, and I had the dryer, they had the washing machine. So we had keys to each other's apartment for doing laundry. And I got to be really good friends with his roommate. And, so I would hang out with him and his roommate, more so because I was friends with his roommate. But then we started kind of connecting, and it was just kind of like one of those, we just kind of fell into it,
Sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's how we met.
now you've spent the rest of your life together.
Yep, the rest
His name
is
is
history.
Fred? Okay. I couldn't tell if you said friend or Fred.
Fred,
I
yeah.
was like, well, if his name's Friend, we're going to need to elaborate on that a little
No.
bit. Yeah.
Fred's his name.
So was Fred his dad's name, or?
It was actually.
Oh, nice.
Yep,
So
yep.
is he Fred the second, or just? Oh, cool.
No, he's the third. Fred the third.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's neat. We don't have any familial names like that, like first, second, third, but we do have the word. We have the name Manette. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, Manette is going to be my mom's middle name, and then both of my sister's middle names.
Oh,
And then it hasn't
interesting.
gone any further than that, but I think there was some French in our background.
Sounds like
somewhere.
it, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So Fred, that's a nice name. That's a very strong. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a cool story. So you guys would share appliances.
Yeah, we use your washer and dryer. Yeah. I mean, we obviously, respectfully, hey, can I come over and do it?
Sure,
Whatever.
yeah,
Obviously, we
yeah.
weren't just walking in.
Yeah, knock on
but-
the door first too.
Yeah, exactly. But it kind of worked out.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny.
It sounds like it. You mentioned that you were going to school at East Carolina University. That's where y'all met?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What did you study?
I was an art major.
Okay.
I have a bachelor's of fine arts in metal design.
Yeah.
So I have a hobby of making jewelry.
So this jewelry,
Some of it I've made.
Okay, gotcha.
So I made this ring. I've made the bracelets. I made this smaller ring. I guess that's the only one I have on.
yeah.
Oh no, this one too, the second ring, and my earrings.
Okay.
And I've had a few booths at the farmers market.
Oh yeah.
Old City Market. In fact, I'll be there a couple of times this summer at Old City Market. And I've done a couple of smaller vendor fairs around the area.
Is there a
too.
good turnout? Like a lot of people walking around and stuff?
Usually, yeah. Usually, the farmers market, of course, it's always busy downtown.
Yeah. We've
Same
been
with
down there to
Old-
buy vegetables before.
Yeah, it's always busy down there. And the Old City Market draws a good crowd too. So yeah.
Haven't been to
absolutely.
the Old City Market. Where is that?
It's Jackson Square. Oh, not Jackson Square. That's Oak Ridge. It's on Jackson Avenue.
Okay.
Right
so the
there.
Old City right there?
Literally
somewhere?
the Old City. Yep.
We'll have to check it out. Like Saturday mornings, I guess?
No, these are on Sundays.
Okay, gotcha.
They don't want to. I don't know. My theory. They don't want to conflict with the farmers market.
Oh, I
So they
gotcha.
do it on Saturday
That's
because they
cool.
also have to close the street for it. So they do it
Oh,
on
okay.
Sundays instead of Saturdays.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
So you mentioned you had a favorite vacation or the last vacation you took in 2019. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so my husband was in the military. He's a veteran, and he was stationed in Germany for about 6 weeks, and it just so happened to coincide with spring break. And so the kids and we flew over and spent a week with him. So we got to see parts of Germany, parts of the Netherlands, it was great.
Yeah.
And the kids were teenagers, so they were old enough to enjoy and appreciate it and have a good time.
Get to see a lot of castles.
Yeah, we explored
Yeah.
castles. We went, I went into a couple of old churches, new restaurants.
You remember what cities you went to in Germany?
So Maastricht
Okay.
is in the Netherlands. We went there. His apartment was in Sittard. He was working in Gallenkirchen, which is in Germany. We went to Valkenburg. I believe Valkenburg has the cemetery from the World War II fighters, soldiers. I may be wrong on that. My memory's a little fuzzy. He's much better at that because he was over there all the time. So he would know where to take us.
Sure.
He's like, we're going to go to this restaurant. We're going to go, to these locations.
Hey, the architecture is crazy.
Oh, it's so gorgeous.
Yeah, so pretty.
It's so gorgeous. I
Did
love
y'all,
going to Europe.
did y'all go to, you said you love what?
Europe.
Oh, Europe.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you said New York.
No,
I was like, whoa,
traveling
whoa,
to
whoa.
Europe.
Yeah.
Traveling to Europe. I love it.
Did y'all go to Frankfurt or Hamburg?
So we flew into Frankfurt,
Okay,
the kids
cool.
and I.
Yeah.
We flew into Frankfurt and took a train to where we were headed to Gallenkirchen.
We went to Europe last year and we flew into Frankfurt. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice, and then I sat down in the car and I fell asleep for 24 hours. I could
Yes.
not, that red eye flight got
It's
me.
exhausting.
Yeah.
It's exhausting to get back.
Did your kids have trip fatigue a lot or?
A little bit, but they bounce back
Yeah,
faster.
yeah.
They're kids.
Yeah, 51, man.
I'm telling you.
I sat down and was put I could hear, I just couldn't experience anything. It was crazy. So, yeah, I can imagine that was a beautiful trip. How long were y'all over there?
A week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's almost too
Spring
little.
break.
That's almost
Yeah.
too little. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to go in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, she was there for 5 weeks and I was there for 3 weeks. So the last
Yeah.
time we went. So that's about 5 weeks might be too long, but 3 weeks is a nice.
Yeah.
You're able to get away and nothing burns down while you're gone. So
Right, exactly.
A lot of work to do when you get back though.
Oh yeah, there's
So.
a lot to catch up on.
You mentioned you guys have a bunch of you have like 4 animals in your home. You want to talk about your?
We have rescue pets. We've always had dogs. I've always had cats and dogs. And so what we have now, we have 2-pound puppies, and then we have a stray that showed up at a friend's house. And her story is awesome. She's about this big, but she looks like a pit bull. So we call her a little itty bitty pity committee. That's who she's part of.
That's funny.
But a friend of mine lived in 10 Mile, kind of out in the woods, and she had a dog door for her dog. Well, she woke up one morning, came downstairs, and this little stray, skin and bones stray, was curled up sleeping on her couch. She had come in the dog door and looking for a safe place, I guess. And she couldn't keep her.
Yeah.
She had reasons. And she was trying to find a home for her. And of course, when you look at pictures of her, you're thinking she's another big dog.
Right.
And we already have 2 big dogs. We have a pit mix who's about 85 pounds. We have a shepherd mix that's about 65 pounds.
wow.
So we didn't want another big dog,
yeah.
but she made some comment on a post that she was about 25 pounds. And my husband and I both are like, we'll take her.
Yeah. Hey.
So, and we've had cats that we've adopted kind of sneakily, over the years, they're just going to keep it for the week, helping a friend out for the weekend,
Yeah,
and then they stay for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Where do they sleep?
well, the little one sleeps in the bed with us, of course, along with the
Y'all
cat.
have to pick it up and put it up there, or does it just hop up
No,
there?
we bought a ramp.
Okay.
We had to buy her. She is so spoiled. She is so spoiled. We got her a ramp so she can get up and down on her own. And the cat sleeps with me on my side.
Yeah, yeah.
And the 2
What's
big
your
dogs.
cat's name?
Callie.
Callie?
Yeah. And the little dog is Molly. And then we have Mac and Murphy.
Yeah, yeah.
And Mac and Murphy, they sleep on the couch or the
Okay.
recliner
Wherever.
or wherever they want to go.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're awesome.
We have a kitty. Her name's Snuggles, and she's 18 years old, and she sleeps right next to my wife's head. She has a little spot right there, and she just they love on each other while she's sleeping. It's so cute.
I love senior pets. They are the best.
Snuggles. She got her on Alcoa Highway. You remember the flea market?
Yeah.
She got her at the flea market there 18 years ago.
Aw.
She's just a little.
Just a tiny
just
little
a little,
thing.
yeah, just a little lump of love. So, and she snuggled right up against her, so she called her Snuggles.
I love that.
So cute, yeah.
I
I'm
love
horrible
that.
at naming animals, so
That's so awesome.
yeah. Some people have the touch, and every time I hear a cute pet name, I'm just like, oh, you
Yeah.
have a superhero power. You don't even know you have it.
I know, right?
I'm completely lacking.
It's hard to name pets.
Yeah.
It really is, and you got to kind of figure out their personalities.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, I'm horrible. Absolutely horrible. I'm a self-professed horrible pet namer. Now I do have superhero powers that I am good at, but that is definitely
Not one of
definitely
them.
not one of them. But
Right.
when I hear Callie, that's cute. That's just absolutely adorable.
Well, we
so.
were having trouble figuring out what to name her,
Yeah.
actually, my daughter and I, and she was probably 11 or 12 at the time. And I remember reading an article about the white tiger that we had at the zoo, and her name was Callie,
Oh.
and it was spelled Kali. And I was like, well, what
Aw.
about Callie? And
Yeah.
they're like, everybody agreed.
Yeah,
So that's how
yeah,
she got her name.
yeah,
She doesn't
yeah.
look like a tiger. She's not like a tiger stripe or anything like that,
Oh,
but we
okay.
just like the name.
Oh, I like
So.
it. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You mentioned your kids and swimming. You want to elaborate on that?
So, like many families, I needed something for them to do during the summer. So we discovered the swim team, the local summer swim program through JACISA, Greater Knoxville Area Intermediate Swimming Association, something like that.
Yeah.
JACISA is what we call it. And we joined the Y. We were specifically with the Y, but there are so many local teams, you know,
Right.
neighborhood teams, sports teams, you know, that kind of thing.
National Fitness Center has a team.
National
I think,
Fitness
yeah.
Center has
the
a team.
Sharks or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. And we started when my daughter was, I think, 8, and my son was 4.5 or 5. So he wasn't swimming. He was my drowner. So I had to make sure that I had my eyes on him.
Controlled drown.
Yes, I had to make sure he was under control. So she did her thing.
Yeah. He was my drowner.
Yeah, he was my drowner. So I had to make sure that he was, you know, supervised, you know, for swim meets, essentially.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. We stayed in the program all the way up through COVID. And my kid started learning how to swim. My son, my drowner, became a great swimmer. He loved swimming. She loved swimming. And it was just a great way for her to spend the summer. And I still have what we call our swim mom families
Oh,
or
yeah.
our swim families,
Right.
because you're with the same people every day for practice and then swim meets and stuff. And it's a great way to build those friendships and relationships and find those summer friends for your kids.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's
it was
really good.
awesome. It
Yeah,
was
that's-
awesome. Plus, it keeps them outdoors and off the computer
Keeps
and
them busy.
not watching TV, and it keeps them busy and
yeah.
active, and
Right.
it is amazing.
Yeah, some people
Absolutely.
do music, you know, they'll do violin or piano or whatever, and some people will do. My son had a couple of friends at Hardin Valley that did cross country.
Yeah, that's
Those
another
kids,
good
yeah,
one.
just
Yeah,
so slender.
that's another good
Yeah,
one
soccer.
for activity. Yeah, absolutely.
We did violin. She put the oldest two. We have 7 children total, but yeah, the oldest two went to they did violin since they were 4 years old, and so they played in the Knoxville Youth Symphony with Kathy there.
That's amazing.
And yeah, so now they're even post college. They still play. They still have their
That's so good.
violins, and yeah,
That's so amazing.
we always had a little stack of violins by the front door. So
Because you never know which one's leaving and coming and going, and they
So-
got to take that with them. Yeah.
that's it. Yeah. Well, they get the little violin, and then by the time they get to college, they get the full size violin. And
Yeah.
so you just don't get rid of the old violins. You have the.
You got to keep.
It's like
yeah.
clothes, you know, hand me downs.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah, my son played Hardin Valley football, and then one day, I don't know, he doesn't watch these, so he won't ever. But one of these days, I think he got hit really hard, and he texted me. He said, "It's over. Come get me."
I'm done. I'm out. Get me out of here.
He and his wife live in Manhattan now, and he's a runner. So he's I think he's doing 8 miles a day or something crazy.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, that's awesome.
absolutely nuts. Through Central Park, and they live right on 5th Street, and so he just runs everywhere, walks, you know, whatever. He just really enjoys it. But
I admire people who have that discipline. I tried it for a while.
Yeah.
I've done a rock and roll marathon, like the inaugural rock and roll marathon back in 90 something.
right.
And I swore after that marathon I would never run again.
Yeah.
And I stuck with that for the most
Did
part.
you finish?
I did.
Okay.
It took about 6.5 hours, but
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
finish. I can say that I finished. But then a few years back, I got into a group of friends that we were doing obstacle course races. So I was still kind of sort of running, but it's
Yeah,
different because
yeah.
you got to stop and do something else.
Right.
And it's a lot of fun. And it's, you know, if you got to walk, you walk.
Right.
But it's the regular straight street running. I don't have that
Yeah.
discipline, and it's hats off to people who do.
What kind of shoes do you wear when you're doing the obstacle course? Is there a certain brand that you like, or?
Trail running shoes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just
Like a-
regular trail running shoes. I I do have a favorite. I can't remember the name of it right now. Avia, I want
Yeah,
to say.
those are good.
That have the really nice wide boxy toe.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't been running it. I had an injury that I had to deal with,
Oh,
so I
gotcha.
haven't done it in a few years.
Yeah. I like Saucony. I'm not a runner,
Yeah.
but I do travel a lot during the day, and I usually just wear one pair of tennis shoes all the time. And I would say the last 4 pair of tennis shoes have been Saucony. Man, those are light and strong.
They're good, yeah.
Very good shoes.
I think I used to run in those like way back in the 90s
Yeah,
when I was
love 'em.
training.
I've tried them all. I've tried everything. Brooks, everything, and the Saucony. Now I go back to the Saucony, and usually it'll last me 6 months.
Yeah.
4 to 6 months,
Yeah.
7 months. And
When
so,
you wear them a lot, they wear out.
yeah, so the last thing you said that I thought was actually hilarious is you called yourself a burger chaser. So we were talking about your favorite restaurant here in town. So what does that mean to be a
Yeah.
self-proclaimed burger chaser?
So my husband and I love burgers. The bigger, the messier, the juicier, the better, right? And so, every once in a while we're like, let's go try somewhere new. Let's try somewhere different. And there are so many good burger restaurants here. I couldn't begin to list my favorites, and I have a list, but that's just one of the things that we like to do. We don't really have a favorite restaurant, but we love to go get a good burger somewhere.
Right.
And so that's one of the things that we like to do. We like to go chase good burgers.
So is there a good burger that you've had recently or two that that come to mind?
So Inskip always comes to mind, and
It's in Fountain City, right?
it's in Fountain City.
Yeah.
Abridged always comes to mind. They've got some good ones.
Where's that?
Abridged or
Is it here
Abridged
on
Brewery.
Parkside?
Yeah, there's one. Their headquarters, Abridged headquarters, is right down here, but there's also one off of Kingston Pike.
Okay.
I'm trying to think who else. Fire and Salt in Oak Ridge has a really good burger.
Never heard of any of these.
Yeah, so, and that's what we like to do. We
Yeah.
like to try these different smaller places. Well, they're not necessarily smaller, but not your
Off the beaten-
chains.
off the beaten path.
tend
Locally
to,
owned.
Exactly. We
Yeah.
tend to stay away from like the common chains like Applebee's or Chili's, or we like to try the smaller Bit Burger is really good. And that's just another small, it's down this way off of Kingston Pike.
We're going to put links to their Google business profiles in the show notes.
Oh,
Gina,
cool.
if you'll remember to do that. She's mentioned 4 so far.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of others. D&B Hot Dogs in Solway. They've got they've been voted the best hot dogs, but they also have
on
really
the side
good.
there.
Yeah, but they also have really good burgers. And we live in that general area of Hardin
gotcha.
Valley, so we go there all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
But yeah, they're all.
There's a little restaurant that we ate at right there on Lovell Road, right there underneath Pellissippi. You turn right if you're going towards
Nick
Oak
and
Ridge.
Jay's.
Yeah, Nick and Jay's.
is amazing.
Wow.
Love Nick
I
and
can't
Jay's.
remember exactly what we ate there, but I want to say it was a burger.
They do have very good burgers.
Yeah. The owners are in there.
Yep.
You can sit there and talk to them.
They're
That place
great.
is crazy busy.
They're great.
Yeah.
I love that place. And Sam and Andy's also has a good burger.
They
They're
do.
local.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So I've been waiting for you to mention Stock and Barrel. Have you eaten?
God, I forgot Stock and
Okay,
Barrel. I
there we
love
go.
Stock
There
and
we
Barrel.
go. Okay, there we
go. We live on this side of town, so we don't go
They
down.
have that one burger. It's called like the Big Ugly or something.
Yeah,
It's like, what?
and they have elk burgers, which are
Yes.
really good,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
duck fries are amazing.
they're-
So
yeah.
yes, Stock and Barrel. I can't believe I left that off
You
the list.
consider yourself to be a foodie? Because I think you might be. Maybe with burgers.
With burgers, yeah.
So you mentioned your last thing. You mentioned your husband's an airline pilot. So you guys do a little bit of traveling if you want to.
A little bit, if we can.
Are there
yeah.
any burgers out in the world that you like? Maybe the United States.
I haven't.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
haven't traveled that
gotcha.
much within to and he's more of the, hey, I tried this restaurant. He'll send me pictures of where
Yeah.
he's been and
Oh, yeah.
stuff. But when you're raising the kids and you're running the family,
Yeah.
I don't get to do the traveling as
Right.
much as I would like.
Right.
But hopefully when the kids are empty nesters, not the kids, when we are empty nesters with the kids,
Yeah. Understood.
then we'll be able to travel more. But it's also hard when you have pets too, because then you got to find a pet sitter. And
Yeah,
all
we
of
have 3
that.
pets, and it's like.
Yeah, it's a challenge, but it's worth it when you can.
We found a lady who comes into our home, because the kitty, we're not
Right.
relocating her, so.
Sure.
But she'll come into the house and she'll do the kitty work, a couple to 2-3 times a day. And then the animal, we got 2 little Yorkies. We'll take them over to Paula's house, And Paula takes care of little dogs in her home, and so she's got the fenced-in yard,
Yeah.
and she'll send us pictures, and they're all like walking around, like
Oh,
in
they're
groups,
having so
and-
much fun.
Yeah. It's almost like a little play date when we get to go
Oh,
out
yeah.
of town. But yeah, we don't. It's
Absolutely.
hard to leave. So
It is. It's hard to
yeah, a
travel.
lot of times Stephanie will choose to be here because of the pets. So for sure. So Shannon, thanks for being on our podcast today.
Yeah, this was
And-
fun.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And so I'm going to say her business number one more time, and we're going to put all of this information in the show notes on the bottom. Her, if you want to get a hold of Shannon for real estate needs, whether you've got a house to sell or a house to buy, you've got
Absolutely.
a friend that needs to buy a house or a friend that needs to sell a house, you can send her a text message or call her at 865-591-9175.
Yep.
And Shannon works with United Real Estate here in Knoxville.
Yeah, United Real Estate Solutions. We're awesome here.
And so the last thing I guess we need to talk about is what area do you cover?
East Tennessee
Okay,
for the
gotcha.
most part. I like to try to stay within 30, 45 minutes of Knoxville.
Right.
But there have been occasions where I've gone outside that circle.
Gotcha. So you will do Sevierville, and you
I
will
will,
do
yeah.
Little
Yeah.
past Lenore City if need be.
Yeah,
So but she
absolutely.
can take care of your needs, and she can do a consult if you have questions about real estate. She's definitely a
Absolutely.
specialist, and she's mastered the trade. So you can ask her
Absolutely.
questions, and she'll give you her thought process and do her best to help you.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, yeah, thank
This
you.
was awesome.
Absolutely.